What's up, Andrew? What's up, Cole? Thank you so much for doing this, man.
Yeah, sure.
You guys excited?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm great. Do you guys want anything to drink before we start?
I think I'm
No,
good.
I'm good.
Alright, let's get started. So we're gonna name this episode The Runners. Basically, you guys will run around my house. We'll record it. That's the podcast.
Alright.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Alright, brought your running shoes?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Show. I'm your host, Maahir Murad, and today we have two very fit guests with us. Our first guest is Anders Law, a senior at Cambridge High School, 18 years old. He has been varsity since freshman year for the cross-country team, and he is an all-star in track. This year, he was the MVP, and he's also the 10th best runner in the state. Our second guest is Cole Suplee. He does cross-country, hockey, and track. He's a junior with 5 AP classes and 1 honors. He's number 1 in the school of Cambridge for the 800-meter race. He was a state alternate, and he's won first place in the St. Louis tournament, and his team is second place for North Carolina.
Happy to be here.
Nice to be here too.
All right, so let's get into this. How did you guys both get into like these sports, cross-country, track, and Cole, for you, hockey as well?
Well, it was just when I was coming into high school, I ran, a lot of middle schools have like small track programs and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that, kind of didn't think anything of it. Coming into high school, just kind of looking for something to do, you know? So just started freshman year and went from there.
So were you naturally a fast person?
I was all right in middle school, but it wasn't anything like
crazy.
Crazy
Okay.
anything.
What about you, Cole?
In middle school, my mom just kind of signed me up in 7th grade, and because she ran before, and then like I ended up really loving it. My like coach was great, and that's where like I met all my friends for high school. So then like going through it, I just kind of like continued it because that's where like all my friends were, and I was having a great time with it.
Okay.
So
Freshman year, you come on the team and you're varsity. What was that like?
It definitely picked up really quick. I definitely was not prepared for it. My freshman year grades were not good because I was so focused on being varsity and stuff. Being that young and being on varsity was kind of a jump, but it was definitely a big learning experience for me.
Yeah.
It was definitely an uptick in like the amount of work I've had to done doing stuff.
And were you the only freshman who was varsity?
Yeah, I was the only varsity.
So the only freshman who was varsity. That must have been a big like ego boost as well. Like,
it was kind of a big ego boost
and a big burden at the same time. Like,
yeah, I kind of felt like a lot of pressure too.
Okay.
There were a lot of older kids who were looking to me to like kind of bring the team forward, so it kind of was a burden, but yeah, it definitely was an ego boost. I probably got a big head freshman year.
What about you, Cole? How was your first year into cross country and track?
My first year, I actually like moved halfway through the year.
Okay.
So like I had all that, and that like wasn't actually that great because like moving, it's like for me it like really screwed me up like mentally for running, like training and everything, because like I didn't train. When you like you don't train, it takes a huge amount of like effort to get back. And because I moved, I like didn't like have as many friends. Like I ran with my friends, and that's kind of like why my motivation. I didn't have like a lot of like motivation to like push myself as like I would. So like I came here and I actually like got worse from middle school to freshman year.
I do want to talk more about training later on, but let's continue on to the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So in sophomore year, you're still varsity, and what's it like now? You're in the second year of your program.
Sophomore year, things really pick up. We lost my freshman year. We had a ton of seniors, so we lose a bunch of them. No one's sure how the year's going to go. But
so now there's more responsibility
now,
on you.
Now there's more responsibility, and now I'm third on the team. Right now things are bigger, but also things are going really well. That's the year we win the state championship, so things went really well sophomore year. That was a really good year for us.
And what about you, Cole?
Like just sophomore year for me.
Yeah, just sophomore year.
So like sophomore year, I was still like kind of getting back, but it was nice to like be more part of the team. I missed out on the state win, but like I was still there for when we got, I think it was third in state.
Yeah.
And so like that was fun to be a part of and go to that meet. I wasn't even an alternate. I just kind of like went to support. But like there's always like that fun part of being part of a team.
And now the final year, senior year for you and junior year for you, right? Mm-hmm. So how was that? Like it's your final year?
It's been really good actually. I've really enjoyed the amount of leadership I've been able to take on and stuff. It's nice being able to have like the reins of the team.
Yeah. You're also winning all these things now.
Also, it's nice to be able to be older and be able to get more accomplishments and stuff and have more. It feels like more control over your running.
Okay. And what about you? So for you, Cole, now at this point you're doing 5 AP classes.
Yeah.
College level classes. You're doing 1 honors. Then you're also doing cross country. And you're doing hockey and you're doing track. So what was that? Because now it's all, if you don't have the time management, you're either doing bad in your sports or you're doing bad in school. How do you manage that?
It's just something like where
and before we continue, I want to point out that He actually got a 4.0 first semester. So how did you do that? Because it's a lot of work on all angles.
It's just a lot of like, you kind of have to get used to it, where like at first I was definitely struggling a bit, but then I was like, okay, and you like, this is what you got to do. And then you also, like, especially for school, you have to learn like what is necessary for me to do and what's not. So like sometimes I'll be like, I got homework tonight, but like I'm super tired and I need sleep. And so like maybe I'll do it during school, or if it's not that important, I like put it off. And it's not like I'm skipping. It's more of like, I'm like, if there's like something for English that I know we're going to talk about next day, and I'm like, I just don't have the time to do this, I'll still get the same amount of like curriculum done, I guess.
Yeah.
But just in class, I may as well do that and get good sleep,
so
so I
you'd
can
have
still be
to
engaged.
push off some things.
Yeah.
Because of sleep and everything. So how important is sleep for both of you? Because as a runner, if you're tired, it's not going to work out.
It's so important.
It's
like,
extremely important. Sleep is really big. As a runner, you're supposed to be getting around 9 hours of sleep.
Okay.
When I think, even regular high schoolers don't get the recommended 8.
Yeah.
You know, so it gets really important. And I mean, I'm not even like in difficult classes like Cole is, and I still have trouble getting sleep sometimes.
And I really want to talk about that, because that even though sleep for you guys is extremely important, that for the rest of society it's just as important, because without the proper amount of sleep, your emotions are all messed up, your mindset's all messed up, you're tired, you have all these negative effects then. So so for you, because sleep was so important, you decided that I need to push off some of my homework because it's not due the next day, it's not that important, but my sleep is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, they're like kind of going off of that. There'll be times where I can like, it's late at night and let's work out, and I've had like hockey. So that'll be like a Tuesday is the worst, because we have morning practice, which you have to wake up at 5
Can you just describe that real quick? Yeah, when you have those sports in school, can you just describe a regular day for you with that?
So like a regular day would like, as like a Tuesday, we'll have like morning practice, wake up, get a workout done, shower at school, and then just kind of go through the day.
How long is that morning practice?
It's an hour and a half.
It normally starts at around 5:55.
So an hour and a half of working out before school. Then you're doing 7 classes in school.
Yeah.
And they're rigor classes that you have to be focused.
Yeah.
And after that, you come home, or where do you go there?
So from there, I'll like go home, and sometimes I might take like a short nap, because like a lot of times people just go straight into stuff. But if you're not awake, or like you're feeling groggy, you're just kind of wasting your time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you're not you're just kind of sitting there staring at what you're trying to do, instead
you can't
of like
focus. You're exhausted.
You need a time to just relax so that you can be fully engaged in what you're doing. And that's like a big way of manage it. Like sometimes I'll like go to bed so I can study the next day, because that way like I'll actually be managing my time instead of like staying up late like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And just not absorbing any of the information.
So you take a quick nap, then you start doing homework, or do you have to go to your other practices?
Usually I like have like a couple hours, because hockey starts late at night, because there's limited rink space, so a lot of the younger kids get the earlier time, so the older kids.
Okay, so you do your homework, and you got to do everything right then, right? Like you won't have time afterwards.
Pretty much, unless like I want to stay up, and a lot of times I'll like call some of my hockey buddies and just do the homework with them.
Okay, so then you're pushing up even later at night after waking up at 5:45. Okay, so what time does hockey start?
Tuesdays it starts at like 6. It starts at like 7:50.
Okay.
Then Wednesdays it's like 9 to 10.
So it's 7:50. It's a 1 hour practice.
It's 1 hour practices.
So just putting all that in, it must be mentally and physically exhausting. You know, being an athlete, being a student, being a hardworking student, right? So do you guys use planners or agendas? How do you guys manage all of this?
Kind of. You kind of get into a routine with it. You know, when you have practice this much. Like you go to practice, you come home, eat dinner, you know, because it's important to get stuff after, and you just kind of get to work, you know. And especially if you have morning practice the next day, you'll know how to manage your time on your break days, you know. So I wouldn't be wrong in saying that you get a sense of responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Because when you have all this going on, you're responsible for yourself then, you know. And do you ever feel like it's too much, where it's like I can't do another practice, and I can't go for another run?
I wanna say that, but it can get kind of close to that if you burn out sometimes. Over the summer, I was hitting like 60-mile weeks, and I was getting...
You were running 60 miles every week?
Yeah. And like even without school, that was...
Okay. What about you, Cole? Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
so you were running 60 miles a week, and then...
Yeah, it was just even without school, all that running can sometimes take a burden on you.
And was that required by the school?
No.
That was just by your own dedication.
Yeah.
You decided, I want to run 60 miles every week
to
stay in form for when the season starts again.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And Cole?
Kind of like what Andrew says, is get in a routine, and like a lot of times when I don't have sports going on, I actually get like worse with my time management. So like I'll be home and I'll be like spending like 4 hours just kind of like sitting there, you know, because like I have the time, or usually I'll like get it done and actually like be more efficient.
So now that we know like your story, both of you, like how much work you guys are putting in exercising, and now I want to shift into a broader discussion of just health in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked a bit about sleep already. We talked about how important it is, and we're talking right now about time management. You guys in school, you have a coach and everything,
mm-hmm.
but you also said that when season's off, you do it yourself. You work out yourself.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for people who commit that, I want to work out now. I want to, like, it's New Year's was pretty recent, right? Yeah. A bunch of people signed up for the gym, but by the end of this month, that number will probably be half, you know? So what is your advice for that? What do you have to say on that?
I think it, like you said, relates directly to time management, right? I think that a lot of people that decide they're going to the gym or something don't schedule out the time. So when you, like, let's say you wake up in the day, right? And you're just like, I'm going to go to the gym sometime today. You're already decreasing the likelihood of that happening by so much because you're not setting a specific time for it, right?
You need to be specific about it. Like, I want to go to the gym at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, like, especially for like newcomers, you definitely want to get like with a group. It doesn't even matter if you're like running, weightlifting, because like going with the group, you'll be like holding each other accountable.
Okay.
Because like that's how, like, over the off season, like I'll run with my friends, and like that's what gets me motivated. Not running, but like I can't let down my friends. Yeah.
So I noticed that was a big part where even in your old school, your friends, you were with your friends running, and you would do your homework with them afterwards. Mm-hmm. So how important is it for you guys? Because I know you guys enjoy your team, right? You guys are a big group of friends. Yeah. So what would you say that's really important to build this friendship with some people? Like, do you think that if you want to work out, if you want to do anything, have it go with the group, enjoy it, so that way you enjoy it more?
Yes, I would definitely. It's getting through workouts is tough, you know, but when you've got like someone to do it with, it's so much easier. Yeah. And I mean, it's the same thing as just with the gym, you know, or just with whatever you want to do. As long as you've got people to do it with you and hold you accountable, it really increases the likelihood of you hitting your goals.
Yeah. And so the other thing is, you guys probably have to manage your weight as well, right? Mm-hmm. What you eat, what you don't eat. So what is that like? Because I know ice cream is always a good thing to have, you know, like how do you fight that? Like, I want to eat it, but I know I can't because it's going to make it harder for me. Mm-hmm. How do you guys take on that?
Like for me, I burn a lot of calories just between like hockey and cross country. So like I need to eat more, but for like the people who like don't do as much, a lot of times it's like, you gotta like, it's a conscious effort where a lot of people like, New Year's resolutions, I want to eat healthier, I want to eat better. And like Andrew said, if you give something like that general, you're not going to stick to it because like, you know, what is better? It's like
you have to be specific, you're saying, in
like,
your goals.
I want to cut out dessert, I want to cut out chocolate, a lot of that. And if you like set the goal, eventually it gets to the point where it's like, it's not a conscious effort, it's actually pretty easy where you're like, all right, just my normal life now. So it's consistency that's important, not really like how much you do in a week, but can you maintain that for a week, a month, and like that's what it's all about.
So right now we've said that it's very important to have these goals, but they need to be specific goals, right? Mm-hmm. So now let's talk more about like the US people in general, right? A lot of us are unfit. A lot of us have goals we don't complete. A lot of us don't even have goals, you know? Yeah. We're just living the life. Whatever happens, it happens. We're not planning anything. So what changes do you think people should be making so that they can be like the best versions of themselves, like you guys are pushing yourselves?
Yeah, I think that you just need to be like in charge of your own life. Just not be complacent, you know? Okay. I mean, like we were talking about, just if you got to have these goals so you continue to improve as a person, you know? Mm-hmm. So you got to do things like hit the gym, you know? You got to do things like cutting out bad food. I mean, with, I guess, health related, but not even health related, you know?
Not even health related.
You got to be able to, not even like at the New Year's, just at times in your life, you just got to take charge of yourself and be like, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm changing this.
So other than like, okay, we've talked about how people will set a goal, but it won't be specific enough. Yeah. What other reasons do you think people don't meet their goals?
I'd say it's like they just get discouraged. Like at first, a lot of people, especially like with their weight, if they don't see immediate results, they'll get they'll be like, this isn't worth it, or like they'll let go because it's easier to just ignore it or something, and they'll make up excuses. Where it's like, it's all about finding that time that's easy for you. Like for maybe some people, it's like after work or after school, because like once you get that in, you find out you have like a lot more time. And it's not just specific goals, but like, you know, as we said, like finding a group and like conscious like action,
So-
things like that.
So you're saying is that they're not making like a deliberate enough effort because like the goal doesn't really. It's like they made the goal just to make the goal. They're not like I'm gonna commit to it. You know, there's not that.
They made the goal to make them feel like better, but then they don't realize it.
How
like,
long
how
it
much
takes.
work or like how long
So
it's different for everybody.
How is that? Because I know you've said that in your races you don't win all of them, right? You probably lose a lot. You win some, lose some.
Yeah.
So how is it that like, and even you said that if I want to go on a diet, like I won't see results the next day. I'll probably take like 6 months. So what do you say to that when you know that your end result isn't near? It's a long way to go, but you still continue to like fight every day. How is that? How does that happen?
It's just like knowing that you need the building blocks to make yourself successful, you know? So if you're not successful in the first race, it's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
But you want to try to be successful in the first race so you know you can be successful in your last race.
So
right?
you guys give it your all for every race. So if you ever lost a race, would you feel like, dang, I'm sad I lost a race, or are you guys like, I did my best, there isn't anything else I could have done?
I mean, kind of depends on how the race goes, but it definitely is. There's so much of a better feeling after a race. Like, let's say you come in like 12th in a race, like 2 separate times. It's such a better feeling when you come in 12th, but like you tried your absolute hardest, than when you came in 12th, but you gave up halfway through and just coasted out to the finish.
There's a moment in a race where like you're like, all right, this hurts a lot. Like, am I gonna decide to like endure the pain, or am I like gonna push through it? And like there have been races where I've said, nah, this is just too hard. And I've kind of like made the excuse of like I can catch up to these people later or whatever, just in my mind, and like I'll get done with the race. I'm like, I didn't finish like I wanted to.
But that problem is not just for races. Like, it's too much. I can't do it. That is like an everyday problem. You know, like people every day are like, dang, it's getting tough now. Should I quit? Should I give up? And another thing that's very interesting is the research is out there. Everybody knows you need 8 hours of sleep, otherwise your mind is not functioning at the level it could be. Everybody knows if you're not eating healthy, there are going to be problems with your body. There are going to be problems with your emotions and everything. All this research is out there, yet we fail to meet like these things we should be meeting. We know that it's bad for us, but we continue to do it. So what do you guys have to say on that? What do you think is going to happen there?
I don't know. Like my thing is, if like you fail in your goal or whatever, whether it's like just the simple, I want to cut like, let's say, desserts out of my diet, but then one day you're like, I'm craving like an ice cream sandwich, and you have it. Sometimes people will be like, oh, I failed, and then they get, you know what, I failed the diet or whatever. So like, screw it, I'm just gonna go back to how I was. And you need to learn how to deal with your failures or whatever, and be like, you know what, I did this one time, and it's time to like work again, and be like, get back into it. And you're gonna fail again and again, but as long as you like try and get better each time, and you do, and you're just working, it's gonna lead to results much faster than if, oh, I failed, all right, I'm gonna go back to how I was, oh no, I'm like back to how I was, time to go on the diet again or whatever. And sometimes people fall into like that cycle.
I think it's just like people being, like I said, complacent in their own lives, you know, like you said, a lot of people know it's bad, you know, like a lot of people have a lot of things they like about, they don't like about themselves, you know, but they're just like not willing to make the effort to change them because they know it'll be hard. It's just that fear of like, it's going to be too much work. Pushes people back. And I want to quickly go back to when we were talking about you guys' time management. Everybody wastes time. And I know you said that when you don't have so much work to do, you waste a lot of time. But what about when you do? And when you know you have so much work to do, you know you have to leave in 2 hours to go to hockey, or you know you have to go run and you got to go for your run, but you get work and you want to waste your time. What do you do then? What is your thought process like? Do you argue with yourself, or what is it like where you guys can fight wasting time? I think you just got to have your time management skills in order, you know? Okay. I think that... But that's easier to say for a lot of people, right? Yeah. You know? No, it's fair. And I mean, I'm sure me and Cole are both guilty of wasting time, right? You know, and not being good about time management. But it's just kind of like a live and learn thing, you know? Like at the beginning of season, like I said, you have 2 hours to practice. You waste it all. Next day you come in, you get zeros in all your homework. I mean, you're living with the consequences now, you know? So you got to be able to take that, learn from it, and next time you're in that situation, be like, no, I'm not making that same mistake again. You know, I think it all comes down to how responsible you are to yourself, you know? Where the only person who's going to get hurt is me at the end of the day. And if you know that, then you either choose that, okay, I'm going to give it my all, right? Or you can say, I'm going to get hurt, and that's just how it's going to be. You know?
So do you have any last minute advice to people who want to exercise and they don't, or just in general people who want to play sports but they don't have the time? Like anything for those people?
I mean, I would just say go for it, you know? Since New Year's was just around the corner, right? So a lot of people have resolutions. So whatever it is, just, you know, put your head down and don't be scared of the commitment to it.
And I think real quick on that is just, even though, let's say you didn't have your New Year's resolutions or they were poor, you don't need to have New Year's to make those resolutions.
No, that's true.
Any day could change the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It takes a second, you know?
And like another thing I'd say is sometimes people like scared to go to the gym or go to the go run because like, oh, people are gonna look at me weird, like I'm not strong, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Well, like those people are like them at one point, and then they decide to work and like go fit. And a lot of times, like whenever I see somebody new who joins cross country and like isn't good but they're trying hard, like I respect that person more because they're trying to change themselves than like some people I know who've had natural talent and just like waste it. So like everybody who's better usually is not like, look at this person who doesn't know what they're doing. A lot of times like, oh, nice, bro. Even if they're not saying it, they're looking for you to get better.
So I want to end off this with a quick discussion on natural talent versus hard work. Would you guys, when you started off, were you guys naturally good at running, or did you have to, or were you not at where you should have been and you had to work for it?
I would say, without kind of sound like a blowhard here, freshman year, I kind of felt like I started off with a bunch of natural talent. Looking back on it, I had no idea what I was doing when I was running. You know, I would say having natural talent almost made me like too arrogant. You know what I mean? Like freshman year, like I would say I was naturally good, you know, but at the same time, because I was naturally good, you know, like a lot of people, like when they first start something and don't know how deep like the information or the understanding goes, they can think they're really good at it.
But
and that's how it was.
Is bliss, basically.
That's how it was freshman year. Like freshman year, like I had some natural talent, and because of that, I was like, oh man, like I'm great at this. Like I already know everything about running, you know? And it kind of took me towards sophomore and junior year to be like, oh, like I knew nothing about running and I still have so much to learn. You know?
You, Cole?
For me, I'd say it was like a mixture of both, where I kind of came into freshman year thinking like, you know, I was like the guy because I had like done pretty well at like middle school track, which is if you've ever run is literally nothing. It doesn't matter. So like, but like I was already decent, but then like I wouldn't be at the point at where I'm not like where I am now, because it's not like I have insane natural talent. Like I'm just good. Like I'm average, and like through like going to summer workouts and being like running every day consistently, maybe doing some core at home, that's where I've reached the point. It's not. Nobody you ever see is good because their natural talent's good because like they put in the effort that you don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to end it off. Is there's people who are working so hard, and from outside it may look like, oh, they're just geniuses, but you don't know how much they're studying at home. You don't know how much exercise they're doing behind the scenes. You know. Yeah. So it really is that even if you are naturally talented, talent can only take you so far.
Yeah, I
right.
Agree.
Hard work will really take you much further every time because they're gonna continue. They're gonna be down here, but they'll work and work and work, and they'll pass you at some point. And they'll keep on working, and they'll build that skill set, that how they should be working, how they should be improving.
Yeah. We see that all the time on the team. About hard work just trumps natural talent.
It just does. And so I think if you want to be anything, even if you're not naturally talented, do the work. And if you are naturally talented, still put in the work, because people will beat your level at some point. Right, you're not working for what you did. Other people will put in their work and they'll beat you. Yeah. A good ending for this is staying healthy is important. You know, if you're not getting your hours of sleep, if you're not exercising properly, you're not going to be at the best version of yourself. Number 2 is time management. You have to be making specific goals of that. I want to do this at this time over here. You know, so you can go somewhere. Number 3 is you're responsible for yourself. You know, like if Anders does bad at a race, it's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's because of what you did, right?
Yeah.
And number 4 is put in the effort, right? Like that's really at the end of the day, it's all just hard work. Put in the work.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you guys for doing this. It was really inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.